Fire. Early humans first discovered fire from natural events like lightning strikes and forest fires. At first, they only tried to keep the flames alive, but eventually they learned how to create fire themselves using sparks and friction. Fire completely changed survival because it provided warmth, protection from predators, cooked food, and light during the night. It also became the starting point for metalworking, engines, factories, and modern civilization itself. Agriculture. Humans discovered farming after noticing that plants grew from seeds left in the ground. Instead of constantly hunting animals and searching for food, people realized they could stay in one place and grow crops intentionally. This discovery created villages, cities, and eventually entire civilizations. Agriculture allowed populations to grow rapidly because food became more stable and reliable than hunting alone. Math. Math was discovered gradually as humans needed ways to count animals, measure land, and track time. Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and Babylonians developed numbers and equations to solve practical problems. Over time, math became the foundation of engineering, science, architecture, computers, and space travel. Nearly every major invention in history depends on mathematics in some way. Electricity. People knew electricity existed because they saw lightning and storms, but they did not understand how it worked for thousands of years. Early scientists experimented with static electricity and discovered that energy could move through certain materials. Inventors later learned how to generate and control electricity using generators and power systems. Today, electricity powers homes, hospitals, phones, computers, factories, and almost every part of modern life. Gravity. Humans always saw objects fall to the ground, but Isaac Newton was one of the first people to explain why. According to the famous story, Newton became curious after seeing an apple fall from a tree. He realized the same invisible force pulling the apple downward was also keeping planets and moons in orbit. The discovery of gravity became one of the foundations of physics and helped humanity understand how the universe works. Germs. For most of history, people believed diseases were caused by curses or bad air because germs were too small to see. The invention of microscopes allowed scientists to finally observe bacteria and microorganisms. Researchers like Louis Pasteur proved these tiny organisms caused infections and disease. This discovery completely transformed medicine, leading to hand washing, sterilization, vaccines, and safer surgery. Penicillin. In 1928, scientist Alexander Fleming accidentally discovered penicillin when he noticed mold growing on a forgotten bacteria sample in his laboratory. Around the mold, the bacteria had died. Fleming realized the mold produced a substance that killed harmful bacteria. This discovery launched the age of antibiotics and saved millions of lives by making deadly infections treatable. DNA. DNA scientists discovered DNA after years of studying the tiny structures inside living cells. Researchers eventually realized DNA carried the instructions that control how living things grow and function. In 1953, the double helix shape of DNA was identified, helping scientists understand genetics for the first time. DNA changed medicine, biology, forensics, and even the way humans understand evolution and inheritance. The wheel. The wheel was likely invented after humans noticed heavy objects rolled more easily on logs. Ancient civilizations eventually created circular wooden wheels attached to carts, making transportation far easier than dragging objects across the ground. The wheel transformed travel, trade, farming, and construction. Thousands of years later, wheels remain essential in vehicles, machines, factories, and countless technologies. The telescope. Early inventors discovered that combining certain lenses could magnify distant objects. In the 1600s, Galileo improved the telescope and pointed it toward the night sky. He observed moons orbiting Jupiter and discovered that Earth was not the center of the universe as many people believed. The telescope changed astronomy forever and opened humanity's path toward space exploration. Evolution. Charles Darwin developed the theory of evolution after studying animals and plants during his voyage around the world. He noticed species change depending on their environment and realized living things slowly adapt over many generations through natural selection. Evolution became one of the most important discoveries in biology because it explained how life changes and survives over time. The Internet. The Internet began as a project designed to help computers share information across long distances. Scientists and engineers created networks that allowed computers to communicate, even if parts of the system failed. Over time, these networks expanded across the world,